What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zora today, Zora. It is the 5th day of November today, and here we are sitting at about 6.7 cents with roughly 6 hours left in the day. Quite the miraculous recovery here, up about 11% today. A nice finish. I actually really love it whenever we get a solid body down like this, a doji candle at the bottom, and then a solid body up. This is a classic reversal signal. I want to see if I can find an example of this. Hold on. What the heck? Okay. I'm trying to do this over here. Let me see. Let me see if I can find an example of this on this chart. Maybe not. It is such a new chart. There might not be an example. That's okay. That's okay. But nonetheless, this kind of setup, I just trust when I tell you, man, this really does look positive. We're looking to engulf the last couple days of price action here if we close a little bit higher than where we are now. And that would just be stupendous. I want to look at the short-term stuff, talk about where we're going. I very much do believe that Zora found its low from a low to a high here, right at the base of this golden ratio zone. I think that was it in the midst of yesterday's mayhem. If we couldn't push lower, I doubt we are going to push lower. That surprising push below 6 cents was enough. And here we are back at 6.7 cents now, looking like you want to move higher. I want to look at the short-term stuff. We'll zoom out from there. Again, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. So massive volume coming in here. If we're on a 1 hour time frame, this is the most volume that we've seen really since the 27th of October on our last little push here. And you're getting a very significant push right now. I think it looks very much like a breakout of this overall downtrend. It looks like we're breaking out here, so that's nice to see. Do expect some volatility, okay? Where we are as far as resistance goes, as far as like the wicking basis goes and the closing high goes. We're right at a point where we found support and resistance before back here, so could we find turbulence here and come back down? Sure. Maybe we come down, we find support right here at prior resistance, which from a low to a high is also right at our 382. It's a very common area to pull back from. So something down at about 6.3 cents. Here we are at 6.7 cents, 6.6 cents, maybe 6.3, 6.4 cents should be considered as a target area to pull back, find support, and continue to build. But overall, I do think, again, we've just broken out of this trend. I don't think that this is the end of it. I think we have a lot more to go. And as this video goes on, as we zoom out to higher time frames, things are going to get really exciting here, you guys. You'll see, looking at the 1 hour RSI, things are positive. The stochastics look positive, and the MACD is also crossing above the zero. All positive things on all indicators. Very bullish, looking great, looking dramatic. We love to see it. Looking at the 4 hour time frame here, you've taken what was a pretty long-lived downtrend, consolidated down here, and you've had a massive breakout. Again, you are at the 60. You are at areas that you found resistance before. You could find resistance here, find a higher low, and continue to rally. There's nothing wrong with that. If by the time you watch this video and we're below 6.67 cents, we're back down at 6.3 cents. Even if we're at 6 cents itself, Zora is still in good shape. I doubt we go below 6 cents again, but it can happen. If we're looking at this here on the 4 hour, there was a solid line of resistance here where we found resistance right there. Even if we go down to 6.28 cents, that's a good area for support, right? All this support down below. So I'm really not worried if we do pull back, but I wouldn't be surprised if we pulled back a little bit from here. With that being said, overall, I very much do believe that we are in the process right now of full-on recovery, going to new all-time highs altogether. We'll get to that. Really, I think the next stopping point might even be at 7.6 cents. There is a situation where here, from 6.667 cents right now, there is a scenario where we do just continue to push higher. We don't pull back at all until we see a 7.6 cent price. It's very common to go to your 382, and whenever you go to your 382, you wick above it. So if you wick above 7.6 cents, don't get too excited. Maybe we go to 7.85 cents, whatever. Consolidate between there and the 236, and then we continue to rally. That's what I'm expecting. A little bit of volatility over the coming days is what I'm saying, but more or less shifted to the upside, right? That's the expectation. We look at the RSI, breaking out of this downtrend, moving up here. You're at the 60. It makes sense to find resistance here. The stochastics are positive, so this would actually suggest that we do keep going higher, but we are at a point where we could reject the overbought zone, just like we did last time, just like we did the time before. We could reject the overbought zone. So whether it's this 4 hour candle or the next one, I would assume sometime soon we do see a little bit of a pullback, a little correction. Hopefully we pull back to the 50 and we bounce from there, well, whatever the case may be, right? The MACD is actually very positive as well. It is negative overall. There are a lot of negative aspects to this right now, but you've got this bearish momentum that's just been decaying. It's like you've had bullish divergence building ever since this downtrend started. You've just unleashed that beast. So as negative as the MACD looks, I really think that there is some bullish prospects going on here that will send this back above the zero, back onto new further prices higher and stuff like that, right? New movements higher. new all-time highs, all that stuff. Whenever we break above the 0 here, and just forecasting it the way that I have it here, that might be on the 7th, it might be on the 8th, the 9th. We know that whenever the 4-hour MACD crosses above the 0, it likes to consolidate. So we might get this cross on Friday and then consolidate over the weekend. And then next week, we're really starting to run. Next week, I think, and what we're looking at here for Zora on the 4-hour, I think next week is going to be really good for Zora, especially like early on in the week. That's my expectation. Things are going to get more exciting the more we zoom out here, you guys. The daily time frame here, you're bouncing off the oversold zone. Very positive reaction, very immaculate reaction so far. We love to see it. The MACD is actually right at the 0, a perfect area to bounce. Love to see it. Stochastics are coming back up. You were oversold. The blue line is out of the oversold zone. Now we're waiting for the orange line to get there. Once we do that, that's basically a obligation to go to the overbought zone at that point, right? And if we do go to the overbought zone, when we do go to the overbought zone, well, that journey typically promotes a good bit of growth. Typically it does. So a lot of good things here on the daily time frame. We look at our all-time high to our low that we had here back in September, the very end of September. You went all the way up, man. You ripped all the way up to your 786, 886, pulled all the way back to your 236 for support. It's perfect. It's literally perfect, man. You really found some resistance directly at that 786 consistently. Going from, mark my words, and this is something that you can take to the bank, man. Whenever you rip through the golden ratio like this and you find resistance at the 786, you do oftentimes pull back to the 236. I thought we'd hold the 382 for support just because we interacted with that 886 a little bit. We got really close to it there, but whatever. We pulled back a little bit lower, and that's fine. That's immaculate support. That's perfect support. What we're doing here is a perfect reaction to validate that as a support level, and we are moving higher. No doubt about it. When we move higher, we're going to be breaking out to new all-time highs. And that's where the exciting stuff really comes into play, guys. 21 cents, 32 cents, those are the immediate next targets. Sometime this month, absolutely, we should see a 3x to a 4.8x move. Sometime in the very, very near future, that's what we should be seeing. I wouldn't be surprised if it was before the 20th of November that we were above 21 cents or even above 30 cents. And then as the month continues, as the year continues, I think Zora is going to reach for higher prices. Minimum target would be near a 7x move, potentially above a 10x move or even higher than that, going into like a 17x move by the end of the year. That's what I would expect. Something between about 46 cents to $1.17. It's a big range, but that's our end of year goals right there. And I really do think that we'll see that, maybe even more. If anything, if I'm wrong, it'd only be because we saw a more powerful move, not a weaker move. That'd be my expectation. Very nice movement here. We look at the daily indicators. We already did the 3-day indicators. Maybe not the indicators themselves, but just the price. You can see 6 hours left in this 3-day time frame. Wicked all the way down. Very nice finish here. Very positive looking bullish candle. On the weekly time frame, as of now, we have 4 days, 6 hours left. Very positive candle for a reversal, right? We found support right here in this exact same area. This overall consolidation phase, this very well-kept consolidation phase that you have, we haven't even broken out of it yet. We do break out of it once we get above about 10 cents again. On a weekly closing basis, that'll be the breakout. And again, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw something similar to what we saw back here, right? Similar in growth from the low to the high. I mean, genuinely, a 75-cent price or higher by the end of the year could be what we're anticipating here. And obviously this move from the low to the high, if it were to happen, it would have to happen by the end of this week to happen the exact same way here. I think it'll take more time, probably going into the end of the year. But I really do believe we'll see something near, if not even above, $1 for Zora by the end of the year. And here we are at 6.6 cents now. That's pretty miraculous stuff, my friends. Pretty incredible stuff. Let alone by the end of the cycle. So I don't really have anything else that I want to say. Weekly time frame, the RSI is bouncing off the 50. Stochastics are at an area to bounce, and the MACD does not exist because it's brand new. It's brand new. It's a brand new coin, so we don't have anything else to go off of. So I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I very much do believe that Zora has some high prospects ahead of it. Okay, Zora here. If we're looking at it, $300 million market cap, you could see a 100x with this thing. You could see a 200x with this thing. Absolutely, we could see a $30 to $60 billion market cap by the end of this cycle. Absolutely, we can. At a bare bones minimum, let's see, a 10x would be $3 billion. So at a bare minimum, I would expect Zora by the end of this cycle see something closer to a 30x. around a $10 billion market cap. At a minimum, at a bare minimum. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you all for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves, take care of your families, take care of your plants. They need water. You know who you are. Take care. Bye.